Good evening to all of you, dear aspirants. Let us start our class today. Today is Wednesday, and on Wednesday we take up economics. So we have already, yes, Anjali, a very good evening, and Isprihaji, once again, good evening. So we have already started with the Indian Economic Development Book of NCERT class. Seema Yadav, good evening, yes. Raman Kumar, good evening. Pooja Kesri, yes, Pooja ji, good evening. And I'm very happy that you had asked me for question paper of the previous years. I have already sent to you. Priyanka Singh is also with us. So good evening. Yes, Raman Kumar, Priyanka, Pooja Kesri, Seema Yadav, Anjali ji, and Ispriya ji. So everybody, good evening. So we have already, yes, Mayank Kumar, good evening. Parasuram Kumar, yes, good evening. So we have already started with the Indian Economic Development Book, that is NCERT. Arya ji, good evening. Yes, Arya ji. And you have started your preparations in very speedy, I should say, consistent and well manner. So this is great, and I am expecting everybody's result, successful result this time. Yes, you all have labored hard, and you all have attempted. So this year, once again, and as far as the preparation is concerned, you should just do the time management that is needed as far as UPSC preparation is concerned. So during first hour, you should take care of the newspaper reading. Then after CSAT, that is very, very important because that is the qualifying paper. And you should do practice of writing, that is essay writing, then answering the optional papers, as well as the GS 1, 2, 3, 4 ethics as well. Then after you should read the NCERT, then standard books, preparing your own note, and then after that should be the last phase, according to me, attempting the mock tests. And since your examination is destined, okay, that is fixed to be held on 27th of June, so it's safer that you should attempt the QS, okay, in the month of January. January, it should start during that month. Why do I say like this? Because by that time you will have a complete summary synopsis of the year, that is 2020. So after 31st month, December, you find that everything is there in that is known as the yearly edition. Yearly edition. Okay. So either it may be newspaper, or it may be CSR, competition success review, or PD, that is Pratyogta Darpan. Then there are some other resources like Vision, Insight, then Dheya, Drishti, yes, Rao, Chanakya. So we will attempt, and we will have the these mock tests from all the sources. It is available on Amazon, Flipkart, and I had purchased for you people during last year, and I had sent to you. So this way we have to ensure. So time management is the only need while you are preparing for UPSC examination. Every day is important day. Every day. And I suggest that you all should interact with me every day. That's so why I come, okay, I come before you every day. You should also send me your progress. Like, what was the topic? Okay, how do you feel? Okay, is there any difficulty in understanding the topics? Is there any difficulty in understanding the syllabus? Then you should prepare the flow charts. You should prepare the diagrams. That is needed. How can you move towards that? Take, for example, the acts. Okay, Indian history, modern India. Then you should prepare diagram. Acts before, during the company rule, the acts during the crown rule, that is 1858. Take for example economy. Today we are studying economy. how, how can you prepare the diagram? Yes, the economic survey of the current year, the economic survey of the previous year, and a little bit comparison. Then the budget, the previous year, the budget, current year. You will find the current account deficit, you will find the fiscal deficit, you will be able to understand the different facets of Indian economy. Okay, the monetary policy. You will find, while you will look at the previous year's question paper, you will find so many questions related to the monetary policy, because the RBI during this pandemic, that is COVID-19, the RBI has taken a lot of decisions, going forward, coming backward. Okay, so this way, just to stabilize the economy, just to control the inflation, so many measures, immediate measures have been taken. So you should take note of all those things. So this is needed, and for this you have to ensure through preparation of diagrams, flowcharts. Aryaji has sent me two good answers. So, and she had pinpointedly mentioned all those styles. So that is needed. I should say methods. So that is needed while you are preparing for UPSC. UPSC confidence is needed. UPSC positiveness is needed. Okay, you have to be a positive, 100% positive. So you should also innovate your own style. You might have attended the YouTube of the successful candidates, okay, male or female. They share their own experiences. Don't try to copy. Don't try to copy. Okay, Anand, Abhishek, Sushant. So this is needed. You have to innovate yourself. So with these words, let us move to our class. So today I have decided that the Hindi class that was especially meant for the BPSC aspirants. So because I used to conduct that at 7 p.m. So that has been shifted, rescheduled, I should say, and the time which has been suggested by Isprihaji, that is 10:30 to 11:30. That I have accepted from tomorrow. That class in Hindi is going to be held at will be held at 11:30, 10:30 to 11:30. And this class, that is 7:30, it will it will start from the time which has been fixed by Anjali and others. So this is perfectly 7:30. But if you like to reschedule, that is 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., I will accept that. So until then, it will be the same time, that is 7:30. So let us have some discussion related to the Indian economic development, because we have to finish the NCERT, and then after I will be taking up Sanjeev Verma as well as Ramesh Singh. Both the books, Ramesh Singh and Sanjeev Verma, I will take up. So the class 11th NCERT, that is Indian economic development. The development in the field of economy, it has been described. There are only, I think, 4 chapters in this book, and that is in shape of the unit development policies and experiences 1947 to 90, altogether 10 chapters. Chapter wise, we have 10 chapters, and let's see what are the topics which has been described in this book. This book is very, very important, because as far as NCERT is concerned, this is the only book which deals with the Indian economic development. Indian economic development. And this book is very, very important just to build up your concept as far as the mains examination is concerned. Because you may find so many questions related to the periods, that is post-independence era as far as Indian economy is concerned. So development policies and experience, that is 1947 to 1990, you will find that under this chapter, this topic, we have on the eve of independence, the Indian economy on the eve of independence. You all know that India became not only a, a supplier of raw material, but a consumer of the fixed goods, finished goods. So, supplier of raw material and consumer of finished goods. So, this was the fate of India during on the eve of the independence, and 200 years, round about 200 years during the British rule. This was the most important economic phenomena which was happening in our country. So you may say in brief that wealth drain, India's wealth was drained in such a way, yes, in such a way that uh, that it was it was quite difficult for indigenous growth of economy, indigenous growth of economy. So you may easily think about the dilapidated condition of the craftsmen, crafts who were living not only in the urban areas but the rural areas. The agriculture, the status of agriculture, that was also declining day by day due to economic exploitation. Yes, yes, of course. Use difference between revised estimates, quick estimates, advanced estimate. Yes, 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 yes. What type of estimate? Is the revised estimate, quick estimate, advanced estimate use? You are asking this question. So estimate means while you are preparing for a project, there are several types of estimate, because without estimate you cannot go forward. I was project director in the World Bank project. Okay, that was I should say 1,206 crores rupees, Indian rupee. So I'm not speaking in terms of dollar. So, but because since I was there in the World Bank, okay, so the difference between the estimates, quick estimates, and advanced estimate, that during during the period of estimation, it was there, because before a project, before launch of a project, there was an estimate, and that estimate was a rough estimate. Okay, that estimate was a rough estimate, because the items were not described roughly. The value of the cost of the land, okay, the electricity, if that is needed, yes, of course that is needed, because the project was related to the drinking water. So the cost of electricity, the value of the land, then the total cost. But if you will just visit the site, then you will find the escalation of prices. Then in terms of escalation of prices, you will have to revise the estimate, because if you have started the project with 50 crores, 50 crores, then on visiting the ground, you will find the ground realities, prices escalating, then you will have to revise the estimate. So in that situation, that is known as revised estimate. Then that needs once again the sanction, and there was sanctioning power of different authorities. So in that terms, it is known as revised estimate. Then quick estimate, that is I estimation, you may say, and estimation, you may say. Then advance estimate, if we have to send ask for money. Take for example, you have to draw money from the 14th Finance Commission or SFC, fourth SFC, State Finance Commission. Then what is needed? Advance. You prepare advance estimation. That money, that very estimate is termed as advance estimation. So then RE shows contemporary situation. So RE, what? Yes, revised estimate. It is not contemporary situation. You may say the prices which is prevalent. Okay, the prices which is prevalent. It is not contemporary, but the period of the initiation of the project. Okay, the period of the initiation of the project. So you may say it the present, not contemporary, present. So if the project is going to run in the month of November, then you have to calculate the price, the standard rate that is prevalent during the month of November. So I am hopeful that you have understood this estimate, revised estimate, and quick estimate, advanced estimate, and the estimation. So yes, yes, I got it. Thanks. Yes, yes, Pius. Very good. So let us move to our discussion with respect to the Indian economy, just on the eve of independence. So 1947 to 1990. So in terms of the low level of economic development under colonial rule. So everybody knows that there was no development. Okay, DBN, you might have heard that Dada Bhai Nauroji, first he analyzed the status of Indian economy, the GDP, and the different facets of Indian economy. The agricultural sector, industrial sector, the foreign trade, whatever was there in name of trade, that was only with the Britishers. Okay, the raw material that was taken away from our country to the British, and then after the finished goods that was marketed in our country. And once again, so many spices, so many other goods that were directly sold to the European countries. So the benefit was there with the Britishers. The the benefit of that trade, what I mean to say. Then the demographic condition and occupational structure, infrastructure. No question. You can yourself think that the infrastructure. What about communication sector? Yes, communication, that is the services sector. Okay, so communication sector was also not in a healthy status. Sprihaji, you have put a very good question. So during 1852, 1853, you may find the first, okay, the first instance of the railways, not only railways, but the postal services. So communication started, okay, only during the 19th century. Okay, so 19th century, only 5 years before the Great Revolt, the first war of independence that occurred in the year 1857. Now, here I would like to mention that roads were there, but the roads only to serve the military purposes of the Britishers. Military. Okay, please remember, the roads were there, but to serve the military purposes of the British. Okay, there were no rural roads. So connectivity was in such a dilapidated condition. Connectivity. So, so many pockets of the habitat, they were having no communication, no communication. So this was the sorrowful status of affair as far as communication is concerned. So only the transportation of military, the army moving from this place to that place, if that is needed, then there was construction of good roads. Otherwise, there was no connectivity, not at all. So I think you have understood, Isprihaji. Now let us talk about the second stage from 1950 to 1990. And during this period, yes, very good. So the goals of 5-year plan, you all know that after getting independence, the planning commission, and then after the think tank of the Indian, you may say, not only the constitution framers, but the builders of the nation. they started thinking in terms of FYP, that is 5-year plan. It started in the year 1951. So the first 5-year plan, it came in the year 1951, and it was up to 1956. So, and the main aim was up to agriculture. Then after industrialization, so 1950 to 1990, then the status of agriculture, what was the main motto? Self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency as far as food production is concerned. Then after the industry and the trade, okay. So trade policy, import substitution, what was there? Because during this period, the economic think tank, they started thinking in terms of indigenous product. Indigenous, what do you mean? If India was importing, India was importing, then there was no question of increase in foreign, okay, FD. So that during that very, just to satisfy that very phenomena, it was needed that the economic think tank, they devised this type of methodology, that product which is going to be imported, why not, should we start production at our own end, that is in our own country, that is in India. So indigenously production of that good. And if we are not able to start production in totality, then we should be able to start production in parts. In parts. Take for example, we have to ensure production of automobile. So only some parts of automobile we started. So the think tank of Indian economy, they decided that some indigenous production should be there. And this very phenomena is known as import substitution. Import substitution. Dear aspirants, I am hopeful that you have taken my point. So after 1991, the new phenomena started, and this is known as economic reforms. The most important factor during this period was LPG. You all know liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So before this concept of LPG, what was there? Indian economy was considered as closed economy, closed door economy. Okay, more imports, less export. More imports, less export. So if you are not able to export, then you will not have foreign currency. So this way you have to ensure less import and more export. So just to serve this purpose, the government of India, they started thinking in terms of privatization, and then after globalization. And what does it this liberalization stand for? Yes, because the rules were not in favor of trade, foreign trade especially. So many hurdles were there, so many NOC, no objection certificates were needed. Okay, so it was quite difficult to move on smoothly. So that's why, to take away all these hurdles, liberalization. Okay, so many duties, so many other taxes were there. Taxes were imposed. So not only taxes, they were revised. Not only they were taken away with, but they were thought to be in some liberal manner. What I wish to say. So then you will see that the Indian economy in this phase is known as reform. Okay, reform stage. And then after the poverty alleviation program started in our country. So BPL, you might have heard about below poverty line. Below poverty line. So, what is the concept behind below poverty line? The BPL people. So, it was defined. It was defined in such a way that if you are not availing the minimum necessities, the required things for a human being, then you are below poverty line. Below poverty line. And then APL, that is above poverty line. So causes of poverty, this is also there in this book. This is also described, and it has been elaborated. Poverty alleviation programs, so many programs were launched. Food for work, yes, food for work. Then after the PDS, public distribution system. So you may find the Essential Commodities Act. Essential Commodities Act, it is very, very important as far as UPSC preparation is concerned. You have to understand it, you have to read it, and you have to, you will find that questions based on EC Act, Essential Commodity Act, in during your mains examination, what I wish to say. Then after the human capital, there is a separate chapter, the formation in India, that is human capital, and the sources of human capital and human development. So the concept of human capital, do you know? Amartya Sen, the Nobel laureate from our country. So he started this very concept that if you are having good number of people, take for example crores and crores, but that is of no use if that very population is not skilled. Dear aspirants, discussion, okay, in this way. Human beings, the population is there, but the population is not skilled, not educated. Then what will happen? Do you say, do you consider as capital? Not at all. So if you are going to say the human being as human capital, then what is required? That population, those human beings should be skilled one. Okay. In local terms, you should understand this way, that those people should be educated. They should be skilled. Because until and unless you are not educated, until and unless you skilled, then what will happen? You are not able to contribute in the development of the nation. Then that way, yes, it is minus human capital. So human capital. So there is a separate chapter in this book, and we will also study. I wish to just ask all of you that you have to study this book, Economic Development. And on coming Wednesday, please put questions. Please read all these 10 chapters. That's why I am expressing. Okay, in such a way that you should develop the curiosity. Okay, you should become crazy. You should become crazy, so that on coming Wednesday, everybody should ask, everybody should put a question related to the chapters which I am elaborating before you. Now, the rural development. What do you mean by rural development? So, the moment the human capital concept came in the minds of the nation builders, then after the rural development started. Why? Because because 70% to 85% at on the eve of the independence, what happened? 85% of population, they were engaged in agriculture activities. So that very chunk of population resided in rural areas. Rural areas. So they thought about rural development, MORD, Ministry of Rural Development. So what type of rural development? There were four angles. And what were those four angles? The development in the field of infrastructure, because you see, there was no connectivity, lack of connectivity. So if you are not able to reach to the people, it's quite, you are not reaching your people. Then what is happening? There is no connectivity. There is no connectivity. So you cannot think about a ray of hope as far as economic development is concerned. So infrastructure development, that was needed. Then after, what was required in rural areas? The basic amenities of life. And what was basic amenities? The basic amenities, take for example, good health, good education, good drinking water. Okay, their protection against the diseases, the seasonal diseases, epidemics, endemics. So this type. Now the third one related to their occupational. Okay, so most of them were engaged in agriculture. Then good seeds, that is high variety, high yielding variety, HYV seeds. Then fertilizers. And the fourth, what was that fourth? To ensure good production, the support from banks, that is NABARD, not only NABARD but RRBs, then cooperative banks. So these were the four angles, these were the four areas the government has started supporting through the MORD, Ministry of Rural Development. And in due course, we will find that the mechanization of Indian agriculture, modern tools, just to ensure the production, modern tools. So MORD, rural development, this is a chapter there. Then after employment, this is also one of the important part of economic development, because this book, the very title of the book is Indian Economic Development. So employment, and you are well finding this terminology in Bihar elections. Okay, one of the leader is shouting slogans, and he is promising to the people that he is going to provide 10 lakhs of government service employment. And the youth of Bihar, they are ensuring this huge number of presence in those address to the public during course of election. So this is election campaign, and what is the percentage of truth? The future is going to decide. The future is going to speak. So let us think about the employment which has been described in this chapter, and you will find that self-employed, hired workers, and then participation of people in employment, then information of Indian workforce. Okay, what do you mean by Indian workforce? You may find questions related to such topics not only in mains examination but in prelims examination. Then after, you will have three more chapters: infrastructure, environment and sustainable. Okay, sustainable development. What do you mean by sustainable development? then inclusive development. Okay, and the last chapter is comparative development experiences of India and its neighbors. There is a comparison, and the last chapter has everything as far as human development indicators are concerned. What are the indicators of human development? And with respect to the neighboring countries, what is the status of affair as far as our country is concerned? So this is all about the book, that is Indian Economic Development. Dear aspirants, this is my advice, that please go through this book. Read at least one chapter, two chapter, and then after, on the coming Wednesday, please, please hackle me down. Please ask so many questions, and I will answer. This way you will enhance your knowledge. This way you will strengthen your knowledge. So, and if you are not able to ask me question, then what is my strategy? I will just take away some, I will just take up some MCQs, most important MCQs on the coming Wednesday. So tomorrow is Thursday, and we will be taking up GS3. So GS3 Science and Technology. So GS3 Economy is also in GS3, and Science and Technology. So tomorrow Science and Technology, and then after on Friday I will be taking up GS4. That is very, very important as far as UPSC aspirants are concerned, because that is a marks fetching paper, and you will all enjoy during course of our learning that day, that is on Friday. And if there will be requirement, I will arrange a special classes on Saturday and Sunday, but that time has not come. Please continue with your studies, be concentrated, be positive, and just be ready to get your dream fulfilled. So thank you for joining me in such a good number, and it has become time. So that is so many things are there. Yes. So thank you for be interactive, be enjoy, and yes, always put questions. If there is some doubt, if you are not able to understand, please write, ask me. Okay, so this way, let us conclude our class today. Tomorrow at same time, that is 7:30, we are going to meet once again, but with different segment, that is science and technology. So till then, bye bye, good night.